democratic is your job, like wherever you work at, most people like it's not democratic at all. The boss says what goes on and what we're gonna do with the money and how much everybody gets paid and what we're gonna produce and how much we're gonna spend on advertising. You know, it's a hierarchy. You know, or the system with even within our jobs is an example of the class system that we live in overall in our society. It's so blatant and clear. Like who are the janitors, you know, generally in the building, you know, who tends to be the housekeepers in the building, who tends to be the CEOs. And then it's like the it's it's a it's a class system where you have the few at the top and everybody else pretty much at the bottom, and maybe you got a couple of middle management up in there, and it's the same people end up being the janitors, the same people end up being housekeepers, same people end up being secretaries.
Well, I'm not really sure what kind of argument you're trying to make, but let me just give you an idea of how things work. The company, because I mean, I take ownership. I own my own truck, but I'm a company inside of a company. So the owner of the company, if we're looking at it like in a governmental standpoint, they would be more like the governors or the people who's kind of has the checks and balances that everything is operating properly and that everybody's not nobody's overdoing, like let's just say we're our industry is ran under laws. Everybody is expected and responsible for keeping up, not breaking those laws that is, that comes from the regulations of our industry. So, but as an employee, let's just say in normal times, as an employee, let's just say I make $1,000, $1,500 a week. But as an owner operator, I mean, that's really goes into a lot more, like 3 to 4 times more than that per week. So if I have that kind of stake, and if everybody can have that kind of stake in their jobs, like that allows them to be held accountable for their actions, and also to be able to benefit from that 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 industry that they're in. So when you're talking about, because when in most cases you say you work, because I mean and I can get it where like a lot of people don't, their everyday is not like that, so it's harder for them to see it. But I've worked that side of where you are, or where the, let's just say that the the majority of people are. And I'm here to tell you it's better on the side where you can have a choice. When you can be a part of, every angle of it all. Yes, you have more responsibility, but you also get more reward.
Yeah, but how many opportunities are there for people to really be, in your position? You know what I'm saying? Can most of people be in your position, like
Yes,
majority
it
of
can.
Americans?
Yes.
How would that work? Because the trucking industry is just one. What
Well,
about
no.
all the other industries? How would they would have to be completely restructured for people to be able to leverage their work the way that you do?
Well, for one, hourly wage is out of the window. If you're there, let's just say we're talking about the restaurant industry. Just this is just off the top of my head, but okay, there's a company that's providing, let's say it's a restaurant. They've provided a place for people to come. Now, as far as the profits, they can take a percentage of what's being made that will go to you instead of $3 or whatever it is an hour, 250, whatever it is an hour that they'll pay you, and then whatever the customer decides they want to share with you or give you. No, it's built into the plates, what they order. After you served, you've earned a certain percentage of what you sold those people.
Yeah, so but how would that work out? Like how would that actually come about? Like I can't see that ever passing
Yeah.
some kind of legislation to go that way. People would scream communism off the rip.
How is that communism?
That's what they would call it.
Well, I mean, it's all. I mean, because I would call it communism as it is. It's like, well, you just make whatever the hell you make, Negro. Look. I'm only gonna pay you. Like, I mean, it's different if they were, for your time, they're paying you $20 an hour or so, being there and dealing with their guests. But no, they've already put you on a stipend. Would you only make X amount of dollars for the time that you're there, which is really should be illegal. But they're making what they're gonna make. Period. So instead of leaving it up to the guest to leave you a certain amount, a certain percentage of what these people are buying should be yours if they're not going to just pay you the fair wage for you being there dealing with their
Well,
customers all of this time.
if you're going to do it that way, then all money should be turned in, including tips, and then distributed amongst all the
Yeah, but
employees.
but 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 see, but that's the thing. The tips wouldn't be necessary. Or let's just say, all right, you know, a lot of times they do the gratuity for certain party sizes, and saying, oh well, you can do 15% or 20% or 25 or whatever. No, if you're gonna do the gratuity side of it, there's a certain percentage that everybody's going to pay for each time somebody eats something, whether it's one person or 20 people. Like that's how it becomes more fair for everybody. Because okay, if you don't put it into